So graph of y equals ux. Now ux, don't let that fool you. That could be fx for all you know. As in, they're just using a different letter. It doesn't affect the fact that it's a function and it's a graph. Is that okay, you guys? Now, there's a rule with functions, okay, just so we're very clear. One input cannot have two different outputs. Does that make sense to you guys? I'll explain what that means now. Imagine I had an S shape like this. Imagine I drew an S shape. Everybody see the S shape there? Yeah? See the way it's sort of like an S? Now, do you see these 3 points here? This blue one here, and this blue one here. Do you see the way they all have the same x value? So for argument's sake, they all have an x value of 2. Would that make sense? And for argument's sake, their y values are 1, I don't know, 4, and 7. Do you see the way there's 3 points that have an x value of 2? Well, if that happens, it's not a function. Because a function, every input, every x value can only have one y value. It's known as the vertical line test. If you put a vertical line in any function, it's only allowed to hit the line once. So using this vertical line test, do you think this is a function, yes or no? How many times does it hit the line? So it's definitely a function. First of all, so it's just a function, okay? So having a regular function, but still just a standard function, okay? Now, let's have a look at what it wants from me. U dash is the derivative of u. Use the graph to write down the value which, right, perfect. First derivative is otherwise known as what? Who said slope? You, was it? So Raja has learned off that the slope is actually there. The slope is the first derivative. You cool with that? So, currently speaking, are you on your way up or your way down? That blue region is the place where your slope is positive. You cool with that? The red region is where your slope is negative. Is that okay with you guys? Where do you think roughly is the maximum point in the graph? Where do you think it reaches its top? 6 or 5.5-ish, is it? I'd say 5.5 or 5.5. That's when it reaches its top, and now it's slightly on the way down. Write down a value. It'll take any value we want. Write down any x value in the red region. So what's a good answer? 6, 7, 8, 10. Any of those numbers will do. Is that okay? So we'll just do x equals 10. On the diagram above, draw a tangent at the point 4, 2. And use the tangent that you draw to work out an estimate. Okay, that's very difficult wording, I have to say. I don't think there's anything wrong with the first part though. Draw the tangent at 4, 2. What is a tangent again? A line that only hits the graph once. What point does it have to go through? It has to go through 4, 2. So 4, 2 is this one here, yeah? And I reckon if we keep it, yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Doesn't look like it's going to hit again, does it? No. Is that okay with you guys? That's a tangent. Hits the point once and hopefully doesn't intersect the graph more than once. Is that okay? Now, here's another question, right? What does f dash mean? F dash x. It means the first derivative. Would you also agree it means the slope? Because the slope is the first derivative. What does f dash 4 mean? The first derivative when the x value is 4. Or the slope at x equals 4. Does that make sense? Now, what do you think u dash 4 means? It means exactly the same thing. The only difference is they're not using f, they're using u. So we're going to try and find the slope of this graph here. See the one I just drew? We're going to try and find a rough slope for it. So what do we reckon? I'm trying to find 2 points on the graph. We know 4, 2 is on the graph, don't we? All right, I'll continue the line. That works nicely, doesn't it? What point is here? We'll just round it off to that point there. Is that right? So call that point 0, 1, sorry, 1, 0, and call the other point 4, 2. So what do you reckon? You could do the slope formula, couldn't you? Everybody remember the slope formula? What's a quicker way of doing the slope formula? You can do rise over run. Positive slope, yeah? 2 blocks up and how many blocks across? 3 blocks across, 2 blocks up. A slope of 2 over 3. Slope is 2 over 3. That kill you guys? So the answer will be just 2 over 3. You could have also done the slope formula using the 2 points. When we see this formula right in here, what's the mode we enter into our calculator? When you see a question like this, what's the mode you enter into your calculator? Science mode. If you don't know how to do science mode, here's the best way of doing it. Keep dividing 1,200 until you end up in between 1 and 10. See the way you have to end up in between 1 and 10? So let's divide it once. What's that? 120, divide it again. 12, divide it again. How many times did we divide by 10? 3. So it's 1.2 by 10 to the power of 3. If you multiply 1.2 by 10 3 times, it will turn into 1,200. For those of you who don't remember, you can do it this way as well. 1,200. Press the equal sign. Go shift, setup, down. Oh, give me a sec. Number format 3. Science mode 2. Select 0. Press equals again. 1.2, 10 to the power of 3. To change it back, oh wait, I still do the other ones. Everybody see 0.27? Everybody see 0.27? Throw that into the calculator and it'll just kick it back out as 2.7 by 10 to the power of minus 1. So give me an example. What question you want me to do? Yeah. Oh, never be between 1 and 15. It's always between 1 and 10. It has to be. Yeah. Never, ever, ever. Okay, next one. A falcon can dive at 120 miles per hour. 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers. Use this to work how long it will take a falcon to travel 100 meters. Okay. Would everybody agree that, sorry, started from scratch. Would everybody agree that 1 hour a falcon can do 120 miles? Everybody agreed with that? Turn that into kilometers. So multiply it by 1.6 and what you get? 192 kilometers. Turn 192 kilometers into meters. Huh? Right? We all good with that? Next question. 1 hour is how many minutes? And in 60 minutes, how many seconds are there? Another 60, isn't there? So what's 60 times 60? So would you all agree that in 3,600 seconds, a falcon can travel 192,000 kilometers? Oh, sorry, meters. 192,000 meters. Okay with that? Provided it's diving, free falling all the way. Okay? Now here's what we're going to do next. We want to find out how fast it can do 100 meters. Everybody cool with that? Now, can anybody tell me, how'd you turn 192,000 into 100? What do you need to divide by to make that work? Okay, scratch that. Scratch that. Have an idea. How do I figure out how long it takes me to travel 1 meter? Divide 3,600 by 192,000 to figure out how long I travel in 1 meter. How fast it takes me to go in 1 meter. Is that right? So we're going to get, it's going to be a really small number. And I am also might make sure I'm out of science mode. We'll see. 3 over 160, cool with you guys? I will in a sec, don't worry. I'll get that, don't worry. So it travels in 3 over 160 in that fraction of time, it travels 1 meter. How many meters am I after? I'm after 100, so I'm going to multiply this by 100 now. 15 over 8, otherwise known as 1.875 seconds. What's the answer in the back? 9. And if I round it off to the nearest decimal, which is 1 decimal place, I have 1.9 seconds. Yeah. So we got it. Okay. What? Oh, to turn your calculator back, you do the exact same thing. You go shift, setup, you go number format, and you go back to normal. You press normal 1. Okay. All right, next question. That was a difficult part B there. All right, awesome. We have 2 graphs. Ever cool with that? 2 functions. Function K is like a U-shaped one, and function M is like an N-shaped one, okay? Now, and it does it from 0 to 5, so it only draws from 0 to 5 on the x-axis. Okay, let's keep looking downwards. Use the graphs to estimate the following. 2 values of x for which m of mx equals 0. Which graph are they talking about when they're talking about mx? Which one is it? The one that's the bottom one, isn't it? The N-shaped one, this one here, that one. Okay, what does mx mean? It means the y value of the function. If the function was fx, fx would be the y value. If the function is mx, mx is the y value. So it's asking you for when is the y value 0? What 2 points are is the y value equal to 0? 1, 0, and 4.50. So it's going to be 1 and 4.5. That is when your y value of your graph equals 0. Find the range of values for which kx, the y value of k, is smaller than the y value of m. Does everyone know what that means? The y value is kind of high in the air. So when is one graph above the other one? So let's find out. I'd say k is above, see this blue region here? Does everybody see the way that k is higher than m? Has a higher y value. And what about this point here? K is bigger than m, right? That's what it's asking for. Is that, oh, sorry, less. Sorry, my fault. That's bigger. So where would smaller be then? That region in there, in between 2 and 3.5. That's your region where it's smaller. So we're actually after when k is smaller than m. So that's the yellow region because you can clearly see it's above it. So 2, it starts at 2 and it ends at 3.5. All right. Now, how do you write that in maths language? First of all, you should write it in English. If you're not good at inequalities, just write starts at x equals 2, ends at x equals 3.5. At least the examiner knows what you're talking about. Or in between 2 and 3.5. To write this in maths language, it's going to be like this. It doesn't say less than or equal, it says less than, doesn't it? So 2.5 less than x. 2 is smaller than x, and x has to be smaller than 3.5. Yeah, that was a tricky question. We all good? Okay. Question 8 now, yeah? Okay. Jessica's making up a solution of acid. She has 2 different bottles, each with the following concentration of acid, 12% and 5%. This means, for example, in 100 milliliters of bottle A, there's 12 milliliters of acid. Find out how many milliliters of acid are in 200 milliliters from bottle A. Okay, 200 milliliters, and how much of it is acid again? 12% of it. 12% is acid. Multiply it out and you'll get 24 milliliters. Okay? Because 12% of it is acid. What did you want from me next? Jessica mixes 200 milliliters of bottle A with 300 milliliters from bottle B. Okay, 200 from bottle A, agreed? 300 from bottle B. How much do we have in our mixture then? Would you agree it's 500? Everybody cool with that? How much of it was acid in the first one? Not 24%, but 24 milliliters. 24 milliliters was acid, which is 12%. Next thing we got to do is got to figure out how much acid was in the next batch. So, no, it's not 15%. It's yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah. It's 5% of the 300, which is 15 milliliters. You cool with that? So, out of our 500 milliliters of mixture, how much of it is acid? 39 milliliters is acid. So, what do we do then? 39 divided by, multiply by, and what do we get there? 7.8%. Did anybody get those two parts out? They aren't too bad. All good? Okay. Explain why Jessica could not make a solution of 4% concentration of acid by mixing them together. Anybody have any ideas? Yes. Bottle A is 12%. Can't get anything lower than that. And bottle B, 5%, was it? So the deal is you can't make it any stronger. So you can only ever obtain a mix between 5 and. Likewise, if you're making some sort of like rum or party drink, and you have like 40 milliliters of, I don't know, sorry, you have 40% vodka for argument's sake, and you have let's say peach schnapps or something like that, which is 15% alcohol volume. Whatever mixture you're making will have somewhere in between 15 and 40% alcohol. You can't go bigger than 40, and you can't go lower than 15 when you're using that type of concoction, unless you actually add in tons of. If you're just mixing the alcohols, you can't go below 15 and 40. Do you get what I'm saying? You'd have to mix in something that has no alcohol whatsoever in it to go below. You get what I'm saying? Right. All right. So it has to be in between 5 and 12. That's basically what we're saying. Okay. What's the next one? This next question, is it? So part 4. All right. Sorry, 1 sec. Okay. When she's making another mixture, Jessica makes a mistake of measuring. She wants to measure out 250 milliliters, but she measures out 260 instead. Work out the error. So how do you do that? Percentage error. It's your error over your true value, multiply by 100. What's your error? What value are you looking for? Multiply by. Okay, and what's that turn out to be? 4% error. Jeez, that was handy, wasn't it? So please note that you can. Please note that just because part 2 and 3 are hard does not mean part 4 is hard. And please try every question, okay? Now, we're on to question 8 now, is it? Nope, still here. Okay. C is the number of corners, E is the number of edges, and F is the number of faces. Okay, how many faces in a cube? Roll a dice. How many faces? 6. All right. How many corners? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there'd be 4 down the bottom as well. So C is 8, right? And what's E? Edges. So edges will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then on the bottom, 9, 10, 11, 12 edges. So 8, take away 12, plus 6. Is 8 take away 12 plus 6 too? It is. 8, 12, 6. Okay, and it works. The formula does work. You all good? Right, what's the next part? Each of these faces of different solids in the shape of triangle, each of the faces of a different solid is in the shape of a triangle of area 5. It has 12 corners, 15 edges, and find the surface area. Okay, so here's the deal. Do you know these triangles? I can make a couple of shapes out of triangles. Do you get what I'm saying? I can make a pyramid. You know, like a triangle pyramid. It's a triangle on the bottom, and then another triangle sort of. Does everybody see a triangle pyramid here? Do you see the way there's a triangle on the base? Does everybody see the way there's a triangle on the base and 3 triangles around the edges? It's known as a triangle pyramid. Okay, so it could be an object like a triangle pyramid, but the bottom line is, whatever they're using, I have to figure out how many triangles they have. So my job is to figure out how many faces they have and multiply each face by 5, and that will tell me what the surface area is. If it's a triangle pyramid, it'll be 4 faces, 1 on the bottom and 3 around the edge. So let's find out. Okay, so what's our C value? 12. Our E value? Our F value is considerably larger than that. So what's that? Minus 18 plus F is 2, and our F value is 20. It's a very complicated shape, and there's 20 triangles involved. So you multiply 20 by 5, and what you get? Yeah. Anybody get that? 100 centimeters squared. You work out the F value, then multiply by 5. You all good? All right. All right, lads, what about this one here? The surface of a third solid is made up of hexagons and pentagons, where H and P are natural numbers. So there are numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Use this equation to find the number of pentagons in the surface of this solid. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. I'm going to give them a common denominator. Does anybody know what common denominator I need to give everything? I'm going to give everything a common denominator of 6. I'm going to multiply the first 2 by 2, the next 2 by 3. Now, as I was telling my first years, see that minus there? That effectively turns it into a minus 3 I'm multiplying by. Okay. What about the next one after that then? 6 top and bottom. Alex? Another 6 top and bottom. And another 6 top and bottom as well. Everybody cool with that? Okay. So what do I get when I multiply the first one by 2? Yeah. I would just find bother putting in the 6's. Multiply by minus 3. Yeah. What? Plus 6p. Okay. Any chance the h's cancel? They do, don't they? Lucky. The h's disappear. Because there's 18 take away 18, which is nothing. How many p's are there then? 1p equals 12. Okay? It is. 10 take away 15 plus 1. 16 take away 15. Don't know what to tell you. Anybody else get p equals 12? All right. Move on. What question is this now? Oh, that's it then, is it? All right, let's go, guys. Question 9. Graph represents a model that be used to predict a car's value, and the car depreciates a fixed percentage each year. So, how much was the car when it was new, lads? How much was the car when it was brand new? How do you know it's 30,000? Yeah. So yeah, it's zero years and it's 30 grand. Everybody cool with that? And then the first year it loses 6,000 euros worth of its amount. Does everybody see that? 6,000 euros worth. And then after that, it's around, I don't know what that is, but after 3 years, it's 15,000, is it? Or just above 15,000? Okay. Now, they said it's a fixed percentage. So whatever percentage it loses in its first year, it loses in its second year. So what's the first question? I'll write down its initial value, no bother. 30G. What did we say the other one was? 24? Okay, great. Now, lads, what's the next question after that then? Okay, show that it lost 20% of its value. How much money did it lose in its first year again? It lost 6,000 euro. It went from 30,000 down to 24 grand. How much was it worth initially? Put that in percentage mode. 20%. It loses 20% every year. Okay, based on this model, write a formula for the value of Brian's car after T years. Okay, have an idea. What happens every year? You lose 20%, but you retain how much? How much do you retain? 80%. So what you can do is 30,000 multiplied by 0.8 to the power of t. Let's try it out. What happens if you put in t0? T equals 0. Let's find out. 30,000 multiplied by 0.8 to the power of 0. What answer are we expecting? We're expecting 30,000. Did we get 30,000? Yes. What happens if we put in a 1 for t? What answer would we be expecting? 24 grand. Did we get 24 grand? Yeah. So that there's our formula. We're retaining 80% every time. Lads, one more question. If I was losing 30%, what would this formula look like? 0.7 instead of 0.8. It was an investment and I was gaining 20% a year. What would it look like? Exactly. Good job. Well done. It'd be 1.2 and not 0.8. Because you're gaining 20, not losing 20. Right, happy with that. Now let's keep going. Hence or otherwise, work out the value of Brian's car after 4 years. No bother. How do we do that? Just put in 0.8 to the power of 4. If you didn't know the formula, what could you do? Just keep taking away 20% for 4 years in there. And you'll get the same answer. Okay, so that's okay. 12,288. All right. Now, here's a new graph. The new graph, is this the same graph or a different graph? Same graph. All right, happy days. Same graph. And what does it want me to do with this graph? Wants me to do a new graph with it. Oh, lovely. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, so it wants me to do this one, is it? A different linear model assumes that the car reduces depreciates by a fixed amount each year. The value of the car will also reduce by 20% in its first year, according to this model. Draw a line on the diagram above, passing through the first 2 points on the graph. Okay, continue your line until it reaches the horizontal axis. Okay. Now, who knows what that means? Okay, here's what we're going to do. It says 20%, yeah? So it assumes a fixed amount each year. So does that not mean, what's 20% of 30 grand? What's 20% of 30 grand? 6,000 a year, right? So no matter what, it's just going to keep depreciating by 6 grand until what happens? Comes 0. And how many years will that take? 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years, 5 years. I can tell you right now, 50 is one of the points. But let's do it this way. 0.30, still 0.30. What's the second point? 124. But the only difference is we're going to do it in a straight line all the way down. This means you lose 6,000 euro a year. The slope is the same. You're always losing 6,000 euro. All right. All right, Sam. Man, loving life. Now, let's move on. Ava buys a new car that has a price of 19,445. She pays 30% of this price as a deposit. Lads, what's 30% of this? Somebody show me out the number. Anybody? Okay, I'll do it. Did I? What was the next question? Oh, 5 years. 5 years will be when it's 0. Sorry, my bad. I didn't officially answer though. You're right. Okay, 30% of this one. 5833 points. Great. Okay, next thing. How many months? I did 3 years worth of payments. So how many payments is that? If I do it monthly, it's 36 payments. Grab your €206.96 and multiply it by 36. What you get? Anybody have it? 74.92. Add the two of them together and take them away from the price of the car. So add the two of them together and take them away from the price of the car. So it's going to be 19,445. Oh crap. 19,445. Take away 5833.5. Take away 7540.92. Did anybody get roughly 6,160.58? Is how much money they have left? You did 36 payments of 206 quid and you put 30% deposit on it. Anyhow. But you have to add them together and take it away from the full thing. Anywho.